How many of you have heard the stories about Jedis, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and the Emperor? I'm sure many of you have. I'm sure many of you know that this is fantasy. But what if I told you that Jedis really exist, and that this story is about one of the last remaining Jedi? What if a Jedi lived here on Earth? What if there was a Jedi living amongst you right now, in your classroom? Let me give you a little background about Jedis. Many of the Jedi lived on a planet called Coruscant. We live on planet Earth. We live on one of 9 planets in our solar system, with the sun in the middle. We also live in the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is humongous. How humongous, you may ask? Well, it's large enough to contain, listen to this, approximately 100 to 400 billion stars. And that is just in one galaxy. There are over 100 billion galaxies. If I lost you with that stuff, I'm sorry. But just understand this, that space and what it contains is massive. So ask yourself, couldn't it be possible that somewhere out in the night sky there exist Jedis? I believe so, because I met one. Well, I did meet a young Jedi once, many moons ago. He was a young boy, about the age of 7. As you may know, he was no ordinary boy. I first noticed that Samson had extraordinary abilities. He was able to solve math equations and read huge chapter books far above what his age should be reading. One day, while he was sitting at his desk, Samson was able to move his pencil without touching it. He was able to push his chair in without touching it as well. How did he do this? The only explanation I had was that Samson had somehow used the Force. As the days and weeks went on, Samson not only was able to increase his skills, but he also developed a new talent that no Jedi has ever performed before. Samson was obviously unique. Not only could he use the Force, but he could also create things with his mind. Let me put it this way. If Samson needed an extra pencil or wanted a piece of candy, if he concentrated hard enough, it would appear right in front of him. Could you imagine being able to create anything with your mind? The problem was, Samson was becoming so strong in the Force that not only did Master Yoda feel this increase in the Force, but also Darth Vader. Both Vader and Yoda knew that this child could tilt the balance of the Force to either good or evil. So whoever got to this child first would be able to teach Samson the dark side or the good side. Unfortunately for us, Darth Vader got to the child first. But this is where the story gets interesting. One day while sitting in class, Samson's teacher was talking about Earth's sun. One of the interesting facts about the sun is its gravitational pull. What Samson learned was that the sun's gravitational pull is 28 times stronger than the Earth's. For example, if you drop your pencil on the floor in class, the force that is pulling it to the floor is the Earth's gravitational pull. Now, if you were on the sun, I know it's impossible, but just imagine. That same pencil would fall 28 times faster. It is so strong that if a comet the size of a skyscraper flew past, the sun would suck it right up. Samson was fascinated by this. His thoughts were, if someone got too close to the sun, they would 1. Be sucked into it, 2. Would instantly burn. All of a sudden, everything gets dark, and the door to his classroom opens up by itself. And who walks in but Darth Vader himself? There he is, the king of the dark side, in front of the room. Darth Vader opens his mouth and asks,
"Where is the one that I seek?"
A young girl speaks.
Who are you? I don't know it's Halloween yet.
Young girl, this is not a costume. I am the ruler of the dark side, and have power you cannot even imagine. Now where is the child who is able to use the Force and the skills of a Master Jedi?
Samson, knowing it was he who Darth Vader was looking for, did not know what to do. If he speaks up, will Darth Vader destroy him and his class? Everybody stood in silence as Darth Vader slowly walked around the room looking for the child. Several minutes passed, and Darth Vader realized he was nowhere closer to finding the child. So Darth Vader decides to expedite the process by ripping the young girl out of her chair.
If that child that demonstrates the power of the Force does not step up, I will destroy this young girl and the entire class.
Stop, you're hurting me. Please, whoever it is, stop him and save me.
Samson, without hesitation, jumps up and says,
Is I who you seek?
Vader threw down the girl and said,
You must come with me if you want to save your class.
I will come with you if you promise to leave my class alone and if you can beat me in a lightsaber battle outside in the playground.
See, Samson knew that Darth Vader could not resist the challenge, especially from a child, and taking him out to the playground would remove Darth from harming the school.
I accept your challenge. And once I defeat you, you will become my apprentice.
Samson, being a kid, was scared, but the Force was strong in him. While walking out to the playground, Samson remembers what his teacher said about the sun. Remember that the gravitational pull from the sun is so strong that it could suck a skyscraper into it if the object was close enough. Samson thought to himself,
What if I could create a mini sun with my mind?
Are you ready, child, to meet your doom?
Sure, but do you mind if we fight in the soccer field?
Vader agreed and the battle began. Both began fighting, and it was soon clear that Samson had the skills to match Vader. What Samson did not have was the strength. After only a few minutes of battling, it became apparent that Samson was not going to win. Vader was just too strong. Samson was quick on his feet and soon determined that he was going to have to try to create the sun using his imagination. Soon Samson fell to his knees and began concentrating so hard that he began to shake. Vader did not understand what was going on with the child, but as soon as he finished his thought, he felt a burning sensation on his back. As Vader slowly turned around, he could not believe what he saw. Vader was blinded by the powerful rays of the sun. As he faced the sun, his body started moving towards the sun. Vader tried to run away but couldn't. Why, you ask? It's because of what Samson had learned. The gravitational pull of the mini sun was so strong that Vader could not escape it. Vader knew he was about to be destroyed. There was nothing he could do but accept his fate. Vader, the king of all evil, was destroyed by a child. Once Vader melted into the sun itself disappeared. Samson was victorious. He had saved the entire school. The young girl that Vader had used to trick Samson to reveal himself ran out to Samson and gave him a huge hug. The young girl stated,
You're my hero.
Samson, standing on top of the swing, said to his peers,
Yet, I may have the power of the Force, but without paying attention in school, I would lost and would be prisoner of evil. We must stay in school to become great and powerful.
That was the last time I saw Samson. I'm sure he's still doing great things. Samson was right. Just because he had the power of the Force does not make him great. It was because he stayed in school. But not only did he stay in school, he paid attention. So whoever might be listening to this, stay in school and become great like young Samson.